Hey, Heath.
Hey, Kevin.
How's that mailbag looking?
Lots of questions as always.
What'd you settle on?
It's generator season.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Winter's coming, ice storms.
And lots of questions, people, on what they should do.
Yeah, so what should they do?
So for me, when we're talking about this, it comes down to three main questions we want to start with. The first one is, do you really need it? I mean, how much do you lose power? Where you're located? Are you worried about someone being home that really needs to have it on if it's down for more than 24 hours? Those kind of things. It's a big investment, so you want to make sure it's really worth your while.
I do know people who feel like they need one. It's either out of envy or overabundance of concern.
Exactly.
The power doesn't actually go up. But then there are times and places where the power does go up pretty regularly.
And that's when you need it.
Yeah.
So once you've decided that you truly do need it, it becomes of what do you need to have on? Do you just want the basics? Do you want refrigeration, heating? Do you have a well pump that needs to run? That kind of thing. Or do you really want to live like nothing's happened? Do you want to run the whole house, be able to do laundry, not bat an eye, and just live normal?
Don't want to miss a football game.
That's true. I don't blame you.
Got to get that 72-inch TV working.
And that brings us to budget.
Right.
What's the budget to make this happen?
So let's start on the simpler end of the scale. Not a huge budget, and I just want to run a couple things because I just want to get through comfort and safety during the power outage.
Perfect. That's great. So we're going to look at starting with a portable generator. And this is something you might see on a job site. You know, we take them there to use for temporary power if there's nothing. You're going to have to wheel it out of a garage or a shed to get it outside.
Yep.
You're going to have to put fuel in it, which is typically going to be gasoline. There are some propane models, but mostly gasoline. Plug it back into the house with a cord specially made for it.
Yep.
Start it, and then manually transfer over to get the power running.
So the advantages are you can get in one of these things for short money, relatively speaking, right?
$1,000 to $1,500 at a typical home supply center.
Gotcha. Pretty easy to operate. The downsides would be what? I can't run everything in the house. For
Typically,
sure.
you're not going to be able to run everything in the house just based on the general size. Not that there isn't an exception to every rule. You can get much larger ones, but the cost just starts getting so expensive it doesn't make sense.
So I'm going to pick my circuits that I want to run. That's one of the downside. I do have to keep fuel in it, which means I either have to have it on hand before, or I've got to go get it and then keep refilling it if there's a long outage.
Exactly. You're either going to have multiple gas cans sitting around, or you're going to have to go to the station, and if you have a big storm, who's to say the station's running and can pump? And you've got to maintain it a little bit. So you've got to have somewhere to store it, somewhere to store the fuel, pull it in and out. And what if someone's home that can't move that in and out?
I'm at work, the power goes out, someone's got to pull that thing out, turn it on.
Exactly.
You kind of have to be there to make it work.
Or if you're on vacation, you're away, storm comes through, you don't want things freezing,
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so some limitations there. If I want to step it up a notch,
go to the automatic.
okay, so let's describe those.
So an automatic standby generator will start on its own. It'll sense that it's lost street power. It'll wait a second, it'll start the generator, and then once it knows everything's good, it'll transfer over and you'll run on generator power.
Gotcha. So I had one of these things installed. I love it. It's out behind the garage. In this case, there's different fuels that run it.
Right.
Mine's off of propane, because that's what we have in my neighborhood.
Sure.
But it doesn't have to be that.
Doesn't have to be. So typically we're going to see natural gas or propane. And that's going to be one of the first limiting factors of how big of a unit you can install.
Right.
If you have natural gas, typically you can install comfortably what you want for air-cooled units. If you have propane, you're limited to what your tank sizes are if you can't increase your tank.
Right. Yeah, so they added a second tank for us, which made it viable, but
Yeah.
we had to do that. And then we also had to decide how big, how many of the circuits we wanted to run in the house. And because I wanted my Sunday football, I went
We
with
wanted
Big
to run the
Daddy.
whole thing.
My recollection is, I think we did put in a 20 kW.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Sounds that could do a whole house?
Yeah, so that's typically somewhere between a 90 amp or a 100 amp breaker that comes on that unit, and that can run basically everything you're using there as long as you're reasonable. In the middle of the summertime, if it went out, don't try and run all your central air conditioning, electric dryer, electric oven. I know you want to, but don't run
would
all
never
of
do
that.
that.
But it lets you use all the lights,
Yeah.
all the receptacles, your TVs, everything as normal.
Right. But I could put in, say, a 10 kW
Sure.
on standby, which
Yep.
would on automatically, constant fuel, but then
Yep.
I would just have to choose what circuits I'm not going to run inside.
You have to be a little more cautious about what you actually use. Yeah.
Gotcha. And if we can get a portable for $1,000 or $1,500, what do these standbys cost me?
Standby packages typically run with the transfer switch and the generator itself, anywhere from $3,500 to $7,000.
Gotcha. Okay. In any case, whether it is a portable unit or a standby unit, they are using fossil fuels to make electricity.
Right.
Gasoline, propane in my case, sometimes natural gas.
And a little bit more maintenance.
And some people want to get away from fossil fuels
Right.
completely. With solar and batteries and all that kind of stuff, is there an all-electric option to have a generator backup for my house?
There is. So the more we're seeing more and more solar, a lot of these companies are also providing battery backup systems. So when you lose power, it acts like your generator. You have a transfer switch that now kicks over to the battery running the house. It's great, it's clean, it's simple, but we do have some limitations as far as where you can locate the batteries, how much they can actually run, and how many of you really need.
So if I wanted to run my entire house, the equivalent of a 20 kW generator, do I need a boatload of batteries to do that?
If it's for any length of time, it's going to be a fairly good sized battery setup, yeah.
So possible, but maybe not mainstream just yet.
Not quite yet. I think it's a little expensive, but I think it's definitely getting there.
Cool. All right. Well, good information. Thank you.
You got it.
What else we got in here? How to make gingerbread cookies? Who gets that one?
Tommy.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.